Welcome to California Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance, coming to you from Sacramento, California. We are joined by Senator Marty Block, and we thank him for joining us today. You know, there's a term that we use in education, Pell Grants, and those are named after Claiborne Pell, who was a senator from, I think, the state of Rhode Island. I'm now going to call the bachelor degrees out of community colleges in California the Block Bachelors. Because
I like that.
In the end, sir, you really are the impetus behind a revolution in education. And I don't mean to be a sycophant, but how wonderful it is that you were so committed and dedicated to getting bachelor degrees being offered at California community colleges, and it's happened.
Yeah, thank you, Brad. It really is the legacy for my career, and hopefully I've got several years left.
Oh, you do, I'm sure. But how does it make you feel? Because as we know, a month or so ago, the 15 institutions were announced that would be offering bachelor degrees throughout the state of California, 2 in your county, which must feel very good, of San Diego County. And so what was that like for you on that day when you saw that list come down?
Well, it was a wonderful day. I attended the Board of Governors meeting along with Chancellor from the San Diego Community College District, Constance Carroll, and we got to hear firsthand the unanimous vote in support of this bachelor's degree program and in support of these 15 programs that are being offered.
I actually had the honor to interview a few folks from Rio Hondo College, and they were one of those selected. They're offering a degree in automotive technology. And I could tell it's almost as if their name got called for an Oscar. In the community college world, this is the Oscar, that you got selected to offer a bachelor degree. And so have you had a chance to speak with folks like Constance, Carol, and other folks about this?
I have. In fact, Friday I spoke at a luncheon down in San Diego. It was a community luncheon, but heavily attended by community college folk. And they were most appreciative. And I spoke about SB 850 and also about the selection process. And it was largely a group of folks whose families aren't typically going on to colleges and don't have the opportunity at the CSU or UC. And they were so thankful that they now had more doors open to them, and doors that would not only lead to college, but would likely lead to completion at a reasonable rate and ultimately jobs in the field.
I look at the list of 15, and by my count, 10 of the 15 majors are healthcare related. Was that a surprise to you or to be expected?
No, it wasn't. In fact, when we first started this program, we thought nursing would be the focus program. And because nursing is also offered at the CSU, we're not at this point in time able to offer a nursing degree, although I hope in the future nursing will be one of the degrees offered.
And I want to talk to you about that because I have spoken with many trustees at community college districts throughout the state, and that is their pet peeve. They're very disappointed that under the bill that did wind up passing, if one CSU or one UC offers a major anywhere in the state, no community college can offer that major as a bachelor degree. That really, and nursing is kind of the bane of that focus.
Yeah, and nursing is the main concern. There aren't a whole lot of other areas where the CSU offers 1 or 2 degrees that community colleges and communities have a local workforce need for, where they would want to offer a degree. But nursing clearly is a high demand area, which will just get higher. The CSU had concerns because they offer not just 1 or 2, but many nursing programs, and they were afraid of the impact this might have on their programs. I'm hoping negotiation between the chancellor of the community colleges, Bryce Harris, and the chancellor of the CSU, Timothy White, might result in exceptions being made in areas where there is a high need for nurses, where there is a community college that can offer a nursing program, and there is no CSU program.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a geographic island, for example, where there is no nursing degree for 500 miles or whatever it may be, it does seem appropriate that that could be an option.
That's my hope.
So would there need to be legislation, or could a waiver be granted under the bill that did pass?
Yeah, as long as the CSU doesn't object, I think we could waive certain schools. And down the road, there might even be new legislation. But for now, the important thing was to empower community colleges to do this at all. And and the governor signing the bill last September, the Board of Governors approving these 15 schools, we're off and running, and we're not going to look back. I mean, it may take a while, but this is changing the face of higher education forever in California.
And let's talk about the other elements of higher education here in our state, the UC and CSU system and the cost to attend those. You had worked at San Diego State, part
That's
of the CSU
correct.
system. At this stage, the CSU system has said they are not interested in increasing tuition. Your friends at the UC system have stated differently. As you know, Janet Napolitano, who is the chancellor, has been very vocal about her desire to increase tuition if the state doesn't give enough money, according to her calculation. I mean, it's brinksmanship at its best or worst. The governor is upset, everyone's upset. Where do we go from here, sir?
Well, I had introduced the bill back in December. Kevin De Leon, the pro tem of the Senate, and I put the bill together that basically eliminates the proposed UC increase in fees.
That 5% a year.
5% a year. We say no to that. As far as in-state students, for out-of-state students, we do build in a 17% fee increase because those students who haven't been paying taxes in California, whose families haven't been paying, whether they're from Illinois or Iowa or China or Japan, we feel they should pay an extra amount to come in. And even with the 17% increase, California, UC would still be lower tuition than Michigan and Virginia and some of the other fine state institutions.
And obviously then private schools as well.
Right, right. So we're making up some of the difference with that. We're also talking about being more efficient in the way we run higher education in California. Right now at the CSU, it takes students on average 5 to 6 years to get a 4-year degree. That's just not right. They should get a 4-year degree in 4 years. The reason students don't complete in 4 years, oftentimes when they come into college, they're not sure what they want to do, ultimately what field they want to get into. So it takes them a long time to change majors, to search for the right job field. Secondly, even once they know what the job is they might want to do, they're not sure what courses they need to take in what order to most efficiently get out. And finally, if they know what career path they want to pursue, and they know what classes they need to take to get there, they go to the classes and find they're full. So SB 15 has dollars in it for career counselors to help students decide what they need to do, for academic advisors so students know what path to follow to get out most efficiently, and for more faculty to teach the bottleneck courses that often are full and keep students in school an extra year or two.
There's also the question of financial aid. A couple of years ago, there was a program put into place called the Middle Class Scholarship. Right. And all of us in the middle class were thrilled for the Middle Class Scholarship because it really looks at financial aid at a fairly high level. I think it tops out at those that make $160,000 a year, which is a fairly nice living indeed. Right. But there's rumblings maybe that the Middle Class Scholarship needs to be reevaluated because it costs a lot, and do people that make $160,000 really need the aid? What are you hearing on the Hill, on Sacramento's Hill, on this question?
Yeah, I supported the Middle Class Scholarship. I think it's important to support all of our students, including middle class students whose families sometimes are struggling to put 1 or 2 or 3 students at a time through college. But there may be better ways to use those dollars, and we have a limited pot of money that can be used in higher education. So we're looking at that as one possible source to help get students in and out of school more efficiently, which really helps all students, not just middle class students.
There's also a proposal by one of your colleagues, Senator Ricardo Lara, which would scale back the autonomy of the UC system. Those are fighting words. What's your sense of that, especially as a former college professor?
Well, the UC system doesn't have as much autonomy as they think they have. We talked about the governor and President Napolitano having a committee of 2. Well, neither one of them have the power to appropriate funds. So they can discuss all they want, and it's still up to the legislature to decide what to fund and what not to fund. We need to probably carry a little more strength in our determination of what we're funding and what we're not, and hold the UC more accountable when we don't like what they're doing.
What does that look like? I mean, everyone was pounding their fists when the vote came down to increase tuition by 5%.
Well,
a year.
And we think with the governor holding fast on his decision not to offer more funding or not to propose more funding if they do raise their tuition, with us having SB 15, which is an alternative, which would again eliminate the tuition increase, I think we're starting to assert ourselves and say, we understand, and I do understand, Janet Napolitano of the UC needs funding, but it's not on back of the students.
You'll come back?
Absolutely.
He's Marty Block. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's California Edition.